Welcome to everybody. This is just an announcement to everybody that this meeting is being recorded. Welcome to the session on legal awareness for especially for women right. We're talking about personal laws. We will introduce the lawyer for the day today. Just to let you know that this meeting is being recorded so that we can then distribute it to other people who may need it and share it on other media. So if any of you have a issue with knowing your presence be known, or you want to change your name, or if you would like to hide your name and rename yourself as somebody else, because there will be some question and answers and some confidential questions that you may want to ask, please feel free. This is the time to do now. If you right click on your name, you will get the options of renaming yourself, and you can rename yourself as your favorite flower or emotion or anything, so long as you want to hide your identity, and that we are completely okay with that. So if you wish, we would love to see your faces while we are talking to you. That is what we would like, but we can also understand that there may be issues, and for those of you who do not want to show your faces, or do not want your name to be visible, you have these few seconds to do that, and feel free to do that. Let us start by saying who we are in SHB Social Foundation. SHB stands for Sati Haath Badana. We work in the space of social and emotional wellness. We run an initiative called Listening Post, which is a free helpline that runs every evening, 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, for anybody who wishes to call us to talk about any issue that's bothering them. Normally, if we have issues that is bothering us, we tend to hide it or keep it within ourselves, not discuss with family or friends in the fear that we are afraid of being judged, or we are wondering what people will think about us. And sometimes we keep these issues within us, and that could be the reason for our not being well enough or not being emotionally healthy. So we run this helpline called Listening Post. It has been running, this is our 7th year, and it runs every day on the phone from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock every evening. And we can flash the numbers for you, the same number that you used, that came in the poster to you, that the link that you used for registration, the same number between 4 to 8 becomes the helpline number. So Listening Post is one of our outreach programs, and we have other programs that we use, like we have a program for our senior citizens on how to use technology. We are a Section 8 company registered under Companies Act. We are a non-profit, and we work in the spaces of compassion, gender, and life skills. This session today, the legal awareness, comes under life skills as far as we are concerned. Many of us women grow up without knowing our rights within the families, as a daughter, as a wife, within marriage, as a daughter-in-law, as a sister, our rights for share of property in our parents' spaces, in our marital homes. There is no school, there is no course that teaches us these things. And often the onus is on us to educate ourselves. And sometimes, unless we are facing a problem, unless we are in that space where we suddenly need to now figure out what we need to do, this is the situation I'm finding myself in. And it's only then that we start looking at, what does the law say? Do I have a right? What if I have to consider this as a solution for myself? Do other things get impacted if I'm separating from my husband? Are my children going to get affected? All these are major issues that will stare us in the face only when we reach that situation. Often in Listening Post, we have women who call us with such situations. Either they are suffering from domestic abuse or verbal abuse, sometimes cruelty. And for too long, they have stayed in the marriage and not knowing how to go about it, how to get out of it. Not that divorce is the solution that we advocate emotional wellness. And sometimes it may mean separation, sometimes it may not mean separation, because out of marriage you may have more difficulties. So we look at every situation with compassion. We listen to what she is saying. We have men also who call on listening post with similar issues. So it's not necessarily only a woman's issue. There are men who have issues in marriage, and all of these are issues that come to us in listening post. And often we have thought, therefore, there is a need for such sessions. We run our own legal cell, and Ganda here on your screen is also a lawyer, and she is our person, our volunteer who runs our legal cell. Sanjana, could you stop sharing screen for some time? Yeah, so if Ganda can put your camera on for a few minutes and say hi. Ganda is a person who runs our legal cell, and Ganda works in close proximity with the listening post volunteers. So when a person comes in, we also have walk-ins. So when a person comes in, there is this emotional download that is taken care of by the listening post volunteer, and there is the legal aspect of it, which Ganda as a lawyer is well equipped to handle. So we have often had cases where we have both the emotional aspect of a case and the legal aspect of a case that needs to get sorted. And the solution normally is somewhere between the two. It's neither a legal solution or a totally emotional solution. It is sometimes a combination of both. And we like to work with mediation, reconciliation, and see and put the family first, but at the same time, no tolerance of any kind of abuse. And that happens only if the woman knows her rights, is empowered to take her decisions, and can stand on her own in a relationship knowing this. And that is why we feel that awareness of your rights as a woman is very important, irrespective of where you are, single woman, married woman, daughter, wife, sister, whatever role that you are taking, working woman, whatever role that you are taking, you need to know your rights. And it's unfortunately not taught in any school or college unless you do law. So many of us are not lawyers, but this is an essential skill, and we think it's very important to do this. And with that in mind, we are running today's session. For today's session, we have Krishna ji, who is based in Navi Mumbai. Hi, Krishna ji. Hand up, please. Yeah. So Krishna ji practices in Navi Mumbai. She's a well-known lawyer. She was introduced to us by Ganda, who recommended that Krishna ji come and do this session for us. Thank you so much, Krishna ji, for agreeing immediately to say, yes, I will do this session and do it free, because as you know, we are an NGO, we can't afford. And like most cases, there is always a lack of money. But Krishna ji has been very sweet and very understanding, and immediately she got the concept of what we wanted covered in this session. And since we had asked quite a few of you to send in your questions, we have shared your questions also with her, which she will respond to at the end of the session. So I will just like to introduce Krishna ji as a lawyer who's been in practice for more than 20 plus years. She has her own firm in Navi Mumbai. She works on a lot of matters other than personal law, though today we are covering only personal law, but she handles property, housing societies, POSH, sexual harassment in organizations, the cases under POXO, which is prevention of child sexual abuse. She handles a whole spectrum of cases, and she runs her own company called Thacker & Co, based in Navi Mumbai in Nerul. So thank you, Krishna ji, for agreeing. We'll hand over the microphone to Krishna ji immediately after this. But like I said, just a note, all the phones on you, please. Videos can be on session being recorded. Question and answers post session either live or feel free to use the chat box. Sanjana here from SHB will be writing down the questions and putting it to Krishnaji after the session when we open up for Q&A. And Q&A will be also a live session, so you can directly ask your questions as well. So with this, I hand over to Krishnaji. All yours, Krishnaji.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the crisp introduction, and thank you, Gandha, for giving me this opportunity to work with Janki and the SHP Satya Haath Badana. Okay, so knowing the today's chapter or whatever the questions that we are going to take, she said we'll take it up at the last, but the whole reason, as she said, is to know about our rights as a daughter, as a wife, and all other roles that we play. I want to make it very clear that here I'm not empowering you or encouraging any of you to start a morcha against the men. This is not anti-men. As she said, she does get people from the male sides also who go through similar issues. So here we are, I'm here to explain to you what you are entitled to. At the same time, as she said, don't tolerate any violence. Okay. So what I would suggest is I will break this into two subjects, mota moti. One is the personal laws, as she said that this is what we are here to discuss, which will cover your rights in properties of your parents as well as husband, which will cover succession rights after somebody, your near dear one, expires, and then how you get that. And then I will also explain about your property, your will, your safety, how to safeguard that. I'll also tell you about divorce proceedings. I'm sure there are a few questions over that also. So to begin with, what is the security and safety given to us by law? Under what sections? I'm not here to talk and describe sections. But are you all okay in English? I'll make it Hindi thoda combination. Audible to all? Yeah, okay, fine. So we have Hindu Marriage Act. We have Special Marriage Act. Hindu Marriage Act tells us all about marriages between Hindu. Indian Divorce Act will give a blanket structure about all the divorce proceedings going under Indian Divorce Act. That can be Hindus also, that can be different religions. There is something called Special Marriage Act, and then there are Special Marriage Act considers the marriages which are between two religions. Okay, so they are registered under Special Marriage Act. So all these acts now, sections are different, provisions are same. What are the rights that a woman, when she gets married? Why were all so many acts like Domestic Violence Act? I'm sure you've heard of Domestic Violence Act. How many of you heard? Just raise your hands. Yes, fine. This came recently. Thank you, Rajni. Thank you, Sangeeta ji. This act came in very recently. Why? Why there was a need? Why there is a need for us women to have and ask for maintenance? Think about all this. This started way back in times when women were only playing roles of making khana, giving birth to children, taking care of the family. So they did not have any independent source of income. Suddenly, if the husband betrays her or wants to leave her and go away, what does she do? So there came in the rights of a lady, and she didn't know where to go, under what section. So the Hindu Marriage Act, the Adoption and Maintenance Act, all these acts have certain section for a wife to go to the court and ask for maintenance. But now times have changed. Times have changed. But still, there is a certain society in ours where there is a domestic violence. There is physical violence. How do we curb that? Where should a lady go? Hence, the protection of women from domestic violence came in. Why? Because domestic violence is not only physical, कि इधर चाटा माला या इधर खून आया. That's not it. Torturing a woman, constantly nagging her, or mentally keeping on telling, you are such a dark skin, I would have got a fair female, तुम्हारे यहाँ से तो कुछ मिला ही नहीं, मेरे को तो दूसरे भी रिश्ते आए थे. Such emotional tortures also amount to domestic violence, isn't it? Again, I am not talking about those little नोक जोक कि आज तो सब्जी में नमक ही नहीं पड़ी, आज खाना तुमने अच्छा नहीं बनाया. All this is okay. This happens in every marriage, isn't it? And every relationship goes through ups and downs. We as daughters, don't we have disagreements with our parents? We do, right? But we don't divorce them. But here, because we have the opportunity, chalo divorce file karte hain. No, we don't do that. We shouldn't do that. But do not tolerate physical violence. Hence, the Domestic Violence Act came in, where certain things which are happening in the four walls of a bedroom, where does a lady have to go? Okay, if she's scared to go to the police station, this act has a protection officer. Where does this protection officer sit? Whom should the lady contact? So you walk in at any police station, there is a women's cell. Women's cell has lady officers, protection officers. They are supposed to listen to you. Like Sathiya Haath Badhana. Like Sathiya Haath Badhana is an NGO where you pour out your emotional setback or baggages. Like she said, we listen to them. And Gandha, being an associate with them, helps them in the legal framework if at all required. So here the lawyer's role, or even if you don't want to afford a lawyer, you cannot afford a lawyer, you go to somebody like this, they will guide you to a protection officer. Protection officer then takes down, if there is really any domestic violence, then the protection officer has the right to file a case in the court, whereby if the husband has committed a domestic violence, if he is earning and the wife is not capable of earning, she's not capable of supporting herself, there are kids and the husband is not paying anything, then there is something called interim maintenance granted. I'm sure interim maintenance, as it sounds only, maintenance is which is calculated, uska income, aapka kharcha, all those things, and then awarded by the court. Interim maintenance is something which is like abhi, interim, till the time the case goes on. Chalo, this is what the kharcha of the house expenses is. Interim maintenance of rupees X is to be granted to the lady, and she is supposed to be protected to live in the house. So your right as a wife to stay in the house which you have been married to, I mean to say the matrimonial house, I'm using the technical word because just शादी में आप ब्याह के आते हो, शादी होने के बाद आते हो, where you reside with your husband, that's your matrimonial house. Now that does not mean अरे हम तो 5 साल पहले कहीं और रहे थे, अब हमने शिफ्ट किया, तो मेरा मैट्रिमोनियल घर कौन सा होगा? जहां आप आपके पति के साथ रहते हो is your matrimonial house. Nobody can take you out of this house and throw you out. Am I clear on that? Yeah. Come se kam nod karo so that I know that yes, you're listening. Yeah. So if at all you know somebody who is, thank you for the thumbs up. So suppose if you know somebody who is who does not know what to do, so this is the new thing that you've learned, your right to stay in the house, matrimonial house, your right to file a domestic violence complaint. Now domestic violence complaint, many ladies get scared कि अब मैं police station जाऊंगी तो मेरा घर तो टूट ही जाएगा, isn't it? We all feel scared ना, we think 100 times. Domestic violence file karna or divorce file karna, there is a lot of difference. Domestic violence, when we file, the matters these days are referred to mediators in the court also. There are counselors in the court also. There are counselors in the family court and even in the normal court who call the couple, who see the seriousness of the issue. If the issue is repairable, then all the mediators and counselors see to it that first, as Janki rightly said, we see to it that the family is not broken. There are children who will suffer. So we see to it that we, in the sense, the counselors, the mediators, they see to it that the family reunites. Chalo, nahi hota hai. Then what? Suppose if there is a third party, emotional, physical involvement, sometimes things are beyond repair. Then what do mediators and the courts do? If one of the parties says ki nahi, main to chhodungi hi nahi, I am not going to divorce you, then let me tell you, भगवान भी नीचे आ जाए ना, तुमको डिवोर्स दूसरे पार्टी को बड़ी मुश्किल से मिलता है. Why I am saying this? Normally the wife doesn't want to break any marriage, but if at all she wants to, and the husband also feels ki it's not working out, then there is a way called mutual consent divorce. So divorce may be दो part. So I'm going stepwise. Domestic violence. What are your rights to stay in the house? Your right to maintenance. Then I'm proceeding towards divorce. अब divorce कैसे, कौन फाइल कर सकता है? क्या वाइफ भी फाइल कर सकती है? Yes. हस्बैंड ने फाइल किया तो वाइफ कॉन्टेस्ट कर सकती है? Yes. क्या उसको मिलेगा? क्या उसके बच्चों की सिक्योरिटी, क्या उसके लाइफ की सिक्योरिटी आफ्टर गिविंग मे बी 10-20 years to this marriage? Is this what I get? Will I have to give him divorce? Such questions do come in our mind. So here I would say ki, if at all the marriage is dead and if there is no emotion in the marriage, it's better to come out of it. For both. We are today's women. Had it been the generations of our mothers, our parents, they would feel like, oh my God, dead end. But at the same time, they would repair. They would say, sab theek ho jayega, let go, let go. But as the generation changes, we have physical independence. We are financially strong to take care of ourselves. We talk about equality. You know, we say na ki no, men, women, same. Then why are so many laws made for women? Anybody? Why so many laws are made for women? कोई बताएगा?
I think there's still discrimination.
Jaya ji, what did you say?
They're still considered as a weaker party. I mean, in terms of simple thing is at 12 o'clock at night, I can't be going out. You know, we are still a weaker party.
Why can't you go out?
Could be unsafe for me.
Unsafe? Do you think Mumbai, Pune is unsafe for we women?
Yes, considering the rape. What I mean is we are still considered as a weaker party, you know, in terms of social setups or, you know, that is the reason.
Okay.
I mean, we are equal and we women do a lot more. I've worked all my life, but
Yes.
there is that aspect of somebody who needs protection.
Do we
Like
need protection?
pregnancy in child.
Yes, that's a different thing.
There is a need for protection. She can't be just left out
Okay.
in the middle of the
Okay.
night. So, you know,
Thank you, Jaya. Thank you, Jaya. Sujata, what were you saying? Do we need?
I was saying that there is still discrimination. Women are still not given the equal opportunity.
At workplace or in general?
In general.
in general also.
Okay. So, as I was saying about divorce and why so many laws are coming for women, as both of you are hinting towards, I would say it doesn't occur everywhere, but it is there. It is still there that there's like, acha, tum kya kar logi? Even if you are educated, even if you are earning, you're not given that respect. Isn't it? That's what you mean. That's what you say when it is discriminated. So there is something called, I spoke about maintenance. So there is something called 498A. I'm sure you have heard about this 498A. सुना है ना? पहले क्या होता था? Dowry. This is related to dowry demands. Now, पहले के टाइम में ऐसा होता था कि the females were subjected to dowry demands. Dowry demands मतलब कि ये लेके आओ. We know what is dowry demands. बट उसकी ना मिलते डेथ जो होती थी बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, देयरफॉर द सेक्शंस वर देयर 498A। पहले आपने देखा होगा कि लड़की धमकी देती थी कि भाई 498A कर दूंगी तो भाई हस्बैंड का पूरा खानदान अंदर, वो बाद में इन्वेस्टिगेट करते थे। बट ऑफ लेट देयर इज अ चेंज इन दिस ऑल्सो। क्या होता था, अननेसेसरी वो जो लड़के की बहन है जिसकी शादी होके वो कहीं और रह रही है, लेकिन उसको, उसके पति को, सो मेनी अदर एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली मेंबर्स वर आल्सो मेड अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस complaint, FIR, police complaint. So there is a change in law which says that the 498A has first to be investigated. पहले कैसे होता था, पहले अरेस्ट करते थे फिर इन्वेस्टिगेट करते थे। अब पहले इन्वेस्टिगेट करते हैं, जैसे दोनों पार्टी को बुलाते हैं, and then only the FIR is lodged. If at all there is a co-sister, there is a sister-in-law, they are all not made a party if they are not living together. This change has come because women started misusing the law. You will agree there are some sector of women who misuse law also, right? So the laws have become little diluted. Now our rights as divorce में क्या क्या आना चाहिए? Now judges क्या सोचते हैं मेंटेनेंस ग्रांट करते समय? आप बोलोगे कि नहीं, मुझे तो भाई प्राडा गुची की ही बैग का आदत है, अब मुझे उतना ही मेंटेनेंस चाहिए, मुझे तो ऑडी और मर्सिडीज बेंज के नीचे नहीं उतरना है, वही उसकी आमदनी 98 तो खर्चा रुपया कहाँ से जज अवार्ड करेगा, राइट? सो द पॉइंट्स कंसिडर्ड बाय द जज while deciding the quantum of award, which is order of maintenance, भाई आपके पति का आमदनी कितना है, उस पे डिपेंडेंट कितने हैं, डिपेंडेंट में उसके पेरेंट्स जो है वो भी डिपेंडेंट गिने जाते हैं। यू आर अ वाइफ, यू आर अ डिपेंडेंट, चिल्ड्रन आर द डिपेंडेंट। सो ये सब देखकर आपका जो नॉर्मल स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग आपका होता, उतना मेंटेनेंस आपको जरूर कोर्ट से दिया जाएगा। Not something which you would say. Now I have seen cases where we are in the court, practicing in the court. तो हमने देखा है कि मैं तो मेरे बच्चे को भाई IB बोर्ड में ही डालूंगी, अब तक तो स्टेट बोर्ड में था, just because you want an IB board. So the judges also say भाई हम भी स्टेट बोर्ड में पढ़े हैं, भाई नॉर्मल स्कूल में डालो ना। So my point to mention this is कि आप जो चाहते हो कोर्ट से, एक्सपेक्ट करते हो, वही मिलता है, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है। The judges are very practical. Now divorce, consent term कैसे होता है, उसका प्रोसीजर क्या है? So as it sounds, consent terms, mutual consent, divorce by mutual consent, which means husband and wife दोनों ये सोचते हैं कि हाँ ठीक है, ये मैरिज कंटिन्यू करने में कोई सेंस नहीं है, लेट अस बोथ मूव ऑन। दोनों मिलके कोर्ट में पिटिशन फाइल कर सकते हैं। अब दोनों फाइल करेंगे तो उसमें क्या क्या आएगा कि ओके फाइन, इफ देयर आर चिल्ड्रन दे विल बी विथ whom, the expenses towards children। अब आप बोलेंगे अभी 2 महीना देगा, तीसरा महीना नहीं देगा, तो मैं कहाँ इसके पीछे भागूं? तो जनरली म्यूचुअल कंसेंट जो डिवोर्सेस होते हैं उसमें लमसम एलिमनी लोग डिसाइड करते हैं। Now for example, if the husband has 2-3 houses, then in between themselves they decide कि okay, ये घर और बच्चे तुम यहीं रहो, this I will transfer it for the safety of the children. That's done. And then there are certain amount of FDs given for children's education and things like that. Custody किसके पास रहेगी? Divorce के वक्त custody is a very big challenge. इसमें बच्चे ही पिसते हैं। Judges क्या करेंगे फिर? If there are, I'll say female child, okay, girls है, girl child, definitely the custody goes to the mother. By default, it goes to the mother. Male child है, and if the father wants the custody, the judges only see the paramount importance for them is the welfare of the child. Say the mother is working, and for example, she is all the time traveling because of her work. And if the father has a work from home, then at times the custody can be given to the father, where the mother can have the visiting rights. Vice versa, ulta bhi hota hai. The mother keeps the custody, the father has the visiting rights. But if he's paying for the child's education, he would want equal right, है ना? And it is better for the child also, na, that the father's fear, the father's love, care, the child deserves both, isn't it? So we spoke about domestic violence, we spoke about divorce, we spoke about maintenance, we spoke about mutual consent, we spoke about custody. Ultimately, आप बोलोगे कि अगर मैं अलग रहती हूँ तो भी मुझे मेंटेनेंस मिल सकता है, मैं बिना डिवोर्स दिए जिंदगी भर ऐसे रह सकती हूँ? रह सकते हो. If the husband also is not fighting for the divorce and आप आपका रहो, मैं मेरा रहती हूँ, but let's not disturb each other, अगर ऐसा कुछ सीन है, so that also happens. So this was mota moti about the divorce. Okay. Now I will move on to rights of a wife in the property. Should I move? Yeah. Okay. As a lady, just because I am so and so's wife, does it come to me? No, it doesn't. It comes to me after his death. You know? You buy a house in the husband's name, मतलब husband खरीदता है, husband loan भरता है, तो भाई loan उसी के नाम पे है तो घर उसी के नाम पे बनता है. What is my security as a wife? So many times we also deal in property matters, like Janki said. So we advise the husbands, भाई wife का नाम joint में डालो. So all of us feel secure. So what if the loan is paid by him? At least I feel, yes, there's something I can bank on. And why do this all the more? Because God forbid something happens. Ek to, you should see to it that the loan is insured. Why the loan is insured, should be insured is, God forbid something happens to him. Paying capacity of a wife is different from the working husband's, right? So that is taken care. Okay. Then the house is to be transferred in the name of the wife. Does it come automatically? No, it doesn't. But at least you're the joint owner of the house with your husband. So the other half of the husband's share is to be transferred to the wife by way of obtaining legal heirship certificate. You have to go to the court. You have to prove that you're his wife. Am I audible? Clear? Yeah.
Yes.
Now we. Yeah, so now people might ask me कि if what if legal heirship में क्या procedure है, कितना खर्चा आता है, कितना time लगता है. So the procedure is about 6 months roughly. If God forbid something happens to one of the spouse, the property which is to be transferred to the other spouse, the other spouse has to obtain legal heirship certificate. And that उसमें 75,000, जैसे हम घर खरीदते हैं तब स्टैम्प ड्यूटी भरते हैं, है ना? या मीना, I'll take up your question. जब हम घर खरीदते हैं तो हम स्टैम्प ड्यूटी भरते हैं, वैसे ही when you inherit the property from your spouse, you have to pay government court fee of 75,000. Now you'll ask me, ये कम ज्यादा होती है? What is the ratio? So there are percentage, लेकिन 5 लाख के ऊपर आपका घर, कोई आज 50 लाख के नीचे घर बहुत कम होते हैं. So the upper limit of the court fee is 75,000. Okay. That apart paper publication, bailiff report and all that, this takes about 6 months time. You get the legal heirship certificate that you give it to your society or wherever you own the house. Now I am in New Bombay. So in New Bombay, we have something called SIDCO, where all the properties names are to be transferred. So we generally give it there, and if the property is to be transferred, आपके पूना में क्या है या कहीं और, society तो हर जगह होती है, right? So you get that share certificate transferred in your name. Now there is a question that somebody will ask me, what if nomination is made? है ना? That comes to your mind now when it comes to property. Nominee is only the custodian of the property till the legal heirs are brought on record. Am I clear? Yeah. So just because your name is there as a nominee, the property will not automatically come to you. Okay. Now, why people make will? Will भी properties के ही बनते हैं ना? So will बनाएंगे तो क्या होगा? Yes. कब will बनानी चाहिए? क्यों बनानी चाहिए? क्या उसको register करना चाहिए? So let me answer these queries. Now, if a person has more than 2-3 children, more than 3-5-6 properties, and he wants 1 or 2 property to go to A, 1 or 2 to B, and 1 or 2 to C, means he wants to distribute. He doesn't want his children or the legal heirs to then fight and dispute over it. So a person writes his wish. What is a will? Anybody? Can anybody in layman explain what is a will?
What is to be done to your legacy after you?
Yeah, Sunita was saying something. Yes, Sunita?
Yeah, the same thing. You will your assets. So you have to mention all the assets that you have earned. I don't think you can will what we say vadlo parjit, but whatever you have earned, you can will it to anybody.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm not sure that was what my question was. Ki whether you can will it to somebody apart from your legal dependent.
You can. But again, let me tell you, vadilo parjit. She just used that word. So let me just explain. What is that? Means ancestral property and self-acquired property. Very good, Sunita, you brought this up. Okay, there is something called self-acquired property, which I can will it to anybody. I can will my property which is earned by me, self-acquired, to even the person who has helped me in my old age. I can do that. I can mention it in my way. So as you rightly said, Janki, you describe your wish in a will. Now that will, if at all there is a dispute, it has to be probated in the court. Mom will साठी काय काय गरजेचं आहे? What is required to make a will? Okay. Now, to be on the safer side, it is always better that you go to a lawyer, you get a will drafted. It is not mandatory. Again, let me tell you, it's not mandatory, but it is advisable to get the will notarized. And if you think there is going to be a dispute, better register it. Where to register this will? There is a registrar office, sub-registrar office where we register the property documents. Yeah, same place you go and register the will. Who has to come with you to register the will? There has to be a doctor's certificate to be attached to the will, which says that you are in the proper state of mind to make the will. Which doctor? कोई particular चाहिए? No. Any family doctor जो आपको जानता हो, ऐसे MBBS होना जरूरी नहीं है, but doctor होना चाहिए. ठीक है? To know that you're in the proper state of mind to make a will. उस पे 2 witness चाहिए. Witness क्यों चाहिए? वो मैं आपको बताऊं. कि suppose if there is a dispute about that distribution, then the judge calls the witnesses in the witness box and asks if the person who has made the will has signed the will before you. Clear? इसीलिए will पे witness होना जरूरी है. Okay. Now there is a question from Meena ji. If the wife has no house to stay after divorce and no property also, okay, this is related to a divorce and questions. So we'll take it up later in the chat. Yeah. So we are on the will. So will किया तो will के बाद probate करना जरूरी है. Again, I just mentioned कि probate compulsory नहीं है हर जगह. You can always give the copy of the will. If there is no other claimant, the property can be transferred in your name. But if at all there is anybody objecting to it, the society will ask you to go and probate it from the court. Probate ke liye, again, you have to pay 75,000 court fee. So how do you secure yourself? So the best way is joint naam rakh do husband wife ka. Since we are talking about women's right, have your name jointly in the property. Okay. Now there is a property related question. Can half of the property in demised spouse be legally willed to someone else? Okay, yeah, I have answered that, Sunita. Now, who are the legal heirs if at all there is no will? Wife or बच्चे, this is what we generally think. कि उनके बाद मैं हूँ, बच्चे हैं. Let me tell you, Indian Succession Act में mother, there are class 1 legal heirs, class 2 legal heirs. Mother is also the primary legal heir of the deceased, the son, the husband. Okay. So again comes the right to women. Mother, she's also a woman who raised the son. And now it has to go to her also if she's alive, because her care is also important, right? Now, property, how it is to be women, how a woman is supposed to safeguard her right in the property is discussed. Any question on this particular thing?
You mentioned the mother. So is it dependent parent or is it just the mother, not the father, is it?
If father is alive, he is a class 2 legal heir.
Okay.
Now, if he is alive, when we apply to the court saying that I am the wife, these are the children, the mother, so many legal heirs are there. So then the property is given in all the names. Everybody is recognized as the legal heir. So the property will get transferred in their names also. Then if they say, no, amhala kai nokoy hai, tumhi tumcha nawa nahi kara. So there are some judges who take their no objection in consideration. I mean, they consider their no objection. Some judges say nothing doing. I will declare in everybody's name. Okay. Fine.
Who decides the percentage of distribution?
Yeah. Yes, Rajni. There is no certain percentage, as I said. In Hindu succession, class 1 legal heirs, everybody becomes equal. So his mother, you, children, if there are 4 of y'all, then 25-25 ho gaya. So it's like that. Okay. So
Just one question, Krishna. We had a caller recently. She lost her husband and father-in-law both to COVID. Okay.
husband and father-in-law.
And father-in-law both at the same time. And they had an ancestral property in Madhya Pradesh and a flat in Thane. And she had 2 young children. So now and he was the only son. So the mother also becomes dependent on the daughter-in-law who was not working. And there are 2 properties and 2 young children. So now what happens, the ancestral property was in father-in-law's name. This house in Thane was in husband's name.
So since these are the 2 ladies, what they can do is they can obtain a legal heirship certificate of the father-in-law as well as the son, saying that both of us are the legal heirs along with the 2 children.
Okay.
So both the properties will get transferred in all the 4 names. Now, because you
all
asked
the
this
4 names, that means including the children.
Including the children.
Okay.
And I want to mention this very specifically because there are small children in this question that you asked, that when a property is in the name of the minor, the wife, that is the mother or the grandmother, none of them will be able to sell off this property till they become major.
Got it.
But it becomes in their name. So they can always stay in that. They can always rent it, earn income. So they are safeguarded.
Okay.
So women's right in properties. Yes, Sangeeta?
Yeah, as a woman, suppose you pass away, does your property go to your parents?
If you will it. And yes, class 1 legal, class 1 legal heirs, if you have dependent parents, as son's property goes to his parents, your property, yes, goes to your parents also. Yeah, if they are there and you have property, because it's equal, right? Okay. Our parents educate us, and if we buy property in our name, and if God forbid something happens to us and they are our dependents, they can always claim.
But if the parents are not dependents, then?
If they want to claim, they can claim.
They can claim.
Yes, they can claim. And women also, nowadays, we all earn, we all are financially independent. We should also see to it that all our properties are properly willed or at least nominated. By nomination here, I mean, I will talk about something different. movable, immovable. Immovable were these properties that we spoke, flat hai, dukaan hai, office hai, whatever. Now there's something called movable. What do I mean by that? Anybody?
Can I ask one question on nomination before?
Yes, Sunita, yes.
So, from a society, housing society's point of view, if the heir is different and the person has, deceased person has nominated somebody, the society has to still transfer, and the nominee insists it has to be transferred in my name, but we don't know the other things. But society is within its right to transfer the property to the, transfer means give the share certificate to the nominee.
I'll come to that, Sunita. As I said, this is about personal laws. This is your society's, but again, I'll talk from the women's point of view. So, okay. Suppose there is a wife, but the husband has nominated somebody else.
It's that case.
The wife's right. The wife's right. Again, I will repeat. Nominee is only the custodian of the property जिसके पास society maintenance bill मांग सकती है. Okay. Nominee does not become the owner of the property. Clear? That should clear your question also as a society. Okay.
Krishna, I have a question.
Yes.
Hi. So my question is basis to
Sneha.
hi, how are you?
Hi, good.
Right. So my question is ki agar if there is a wife, okay, who has ancestral property like from her father's, okay, udhar se bhi unko property hai, and जब हम maintenance और divorce की बात करते हैं, तो can that be considered as her share? I mean,
No, just because she has uske father ke side ka property, that does not mean she's not entitled to maintenance from the husband, or she's not entitled to the property from the husband.
Even though she is qualified and she is earning?
Yes. Which that does not mean, see, capable of earning, there are certain women who are capable of earning but decide and choose not to earn. है वो कमाएगा मुझे देगा, ठीक है, अगर वो कमाएगा तो वो जो कमाएगा उसी में से आपको मिलेगा ना, उसके ऊपर तो नहीं मिल सकता है. But if your expenses are little more than what he is giving you, then you might as well earn.
Might as well earn. Right. Okay.
Just,
and another question is as a,
sorry,
as a daughter. I'm sorry, Janki, if I can just.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you. So as a daughter, if I have a property and I give it to my father before getting married, ki ye aapke naam pe kar lo. After something goes wrong with him, God forbid, can that be again transferred to me, or will it go to my sister straight away?
You gifted it to your father, then it becomes your father's.
Okay.
God forbid something happens to Papa, then it goes to Mama and all the other children, including you. Then you will get only that 1/5 or 1/4 or whatever share.
Whatever the share is. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Sneha. Janki,
my question related to what Sneha was asking in terms of if it is ancestral property, will it be considered? So that, does it come under the same category as Stridhan? You have your jewelry that your parents have given you at the time of marriage. Similarly, what you have earned and bought your own property does not come into the kitty at all when the question of maintenance and alimony. वो तो अलग ही है, वो आपका है. बाद में जब maintenance का discussion होता है तो वो सिर्फ ये दूसरे wallet का बात कर रहे हैं और उसमें से proportion आएगा.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Okay.
Now, either the judge will very well consider. Here we are again talking about maintenance. I'm repeating what Janki you said. आपके मम्मी पापा ने आपको jewelry दिया है, that is your Stridhan. आपने अगर कुछ अपने आप से कमाया है, आपकी प्रॉपर्टी है, that is yours. Okay. And if at all there is any dispute between husband and wife and you are helpless but to look after the children, you cannot work, though you are qualified to work, you have other responsibilities, and उनको भी खिलाने के लिए till the court का matter goes on, you do something to earn दाल चावल रोटी बनाने के लिए कुछ तो, that will not be considered कि नहीं तुम तो 5-6 हज़ार कमा रही हो तो अभी कमा लो. No, the husband is entitled to support the wife and the children. Chaitali wants to ask something.
Yes, I wanted to ask that my father-in-law wants to control everything, since my husband and they are all in the same business. So every time this will and the property thing comes in between, that it's their house and all. So
See, Chaitali, there is a saying, you know, कि जब आपस में प्यार होना तो दाल चावल भी अच्छा लगता है, लेकिन अगर मन में कहीं तो मतभेद या मनभेद होना तो वो बिरयानी भी फीकी लगती है, correct?
Yes.
So, if at all there is a joint family, joint property, तो आपके husband कोई छोटे 5 साल के बच्चे तो है नहीं, okay? He should be the one to put his foot down, saying that I need to safeguard my wife, children. So मेरा नाम डालो प्रॉपर्टी में, चलो आपका ना सही लेकिन उनका तो डालो, so that at least you get the right through your husband as his wife.
But he is very firm that, you know, he is not going to put,
How
only
many
my mother-in-law's name is there. Siblings, there are
Mother-in-law's
2
name is there.
siblings. Yeah.
There are no siblings. So God forbid anything happens to the father-in-law, it has
Sibling
to come
is there. Sister-in-law is also there.
Yes. So if your mother-in-law's name is there, I think you should talk to your mother-in-law. She's, as a woman, would understand. If she had her name as a security, might as well she will consider your request. Okay? So I will suggest बैठ के बात करो. There should always be communication. कोई अंतर्यामी नहीं है, कोई मन की बात समझता नहीं है यहाँ पे. Okay? You have to be vocal about your wish. Be polite.
I have a question.
Yes,
And
Meena ji.
we think that, you know, they only want to do it in my like sister-in-laws. They want to give everything to her. So they are very firm on that.
Okay. Janki, how do we handle this? I talk to her later.
Yeah, we can connect, but I think overall also in terms of property, both siblings have an equal right. So the brother and the sister have 50% share. And if for any reason there is no will and the father-in-law goes, then I think it's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. As of now, that the mother-in-law gets 1/3 and the daughter gets 1/3, and Chaitali, your husband gets 1/3.
But
And
since
if
your husband is helping the father-in-law in the
of
business,
that 1/3.
Okay. And if the will, father-in-law has made the will, and if there is no name, then what is the
then
situation?
it goes to your
Then-
father-in-law. I think it's
yeah.
better, Chaitali, you talk to your husband, talk to the mother-in-law, father-in-law, sit across the table. You need your security, your children's security and safety. Okay? Yeah.
Okay.
Meena ji, you were saying something?
Yeah, I have one question. I just wanted to ask you that my father has expired and he has nominated my brother with 50% of the share of the flat and my mother with 50% share. Now the thing is, my mother is already 90 years old and she wants to distribute her 50% share to 2 daughters, that is myself and my sister, with 25% and 25% to my brother. So my brother totally gets 75% and both of the sisters get 12.5%, 12.5%. So how to go about with this? Because she has just given a nomination paper down in the society, but she has not made any will or anything as such, because everything has been distributed before only when she is still alive. And she has given off her jewelry and her shares, whatever she had, the movable things, she has already transferred them. The only thing is, which is which has to be considered is the flat. And my daddy always wanted that the flat should be given to my brother in 75% and 12.5 to both of the daughters. So in that case, what has my mother to do? That's number one. And the other one, I have already put a question. So when you come on that, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Meena ji, if I've understood it rightly, your father is no more, correct?
Yes.
And he had nominated your brother and mother, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So is the flat transferred in their name?
It has still not been transferred, but the society has accepted that both of them are nominated.
Both of them are nominee. And if the society is accepted, then once the flat becomes transfers already in the name of your brother and mummy, then mummy can make a will of her share.
Okay. But she has already given her nomination papers to the society,
That's what I'm
saying
saying.
that 25% is my brother and 25% will be divided among two of them.
Two sisters. So आ गया ना 12.5 12.5% दोनों sisters का आ गया, and brother को already उसका मतलब उसका 50% जो पापा से मिला है, और mummy is also giving. So it's already nominated the way you want it to be.
Yes. So now a will is necessary.
Better to make it.
Okay. Now my mother has a bank account, locker. In the locker, only my jewelry has been kept there because it was a very convenient for me because mummy was staying up and I didn't want to take the risk of taking it to some other bank and putting it and all that. And the bank is just below my mummy's house. So I have kept my jewelry in my mother's locker. Now tomorrow, in case if my mother is no more, then will the jewelry be divided among all the three of our siblings or it will be mine only?
I'll tell you. अगर आप मम्मी को बैंक लॉकर लेकर जाकर आपका नाम ऐड करवा सकते हो,
हाँ,
तो
वो करवा दिया है मैंने, वो करवा दिया है, लेकिन मेरे नाम के साथ में मेरी बहन का नाम भी है. But my sister very well knows that this is not my her jewelry, it is only my jewelry. Okay. But can she tomorrow ask for it?
Okay. अभी आपने बोला लॉकर मम्मी के नाम पे है, मैं बोल रही
मम्मी
हूँ
के नाम का है और उसमें मेरा और मेरी सिस्टर का नाम ऐड किया है.
Okay, fine. So now अभी आपको मैंने जो suggest किया कि your mummy should make a will. In that will, very clearly mention that the jewelry inside the locker is only Meena's. It should be operated by only Meena. The locker should be transferred in the name of Meena. The jewelry inside belongs only to Meena. वगैरह उस will में लिख दो.
Okay.
Okay. Chaitali, if your question is done, you can remove the hand, or you have any more?
No, that's fine.
Okay, fine. Sunita, you have a query?
Yeah. It's with respect to the daughters getting the equal right with the sibling brother. What Janaki was saying, like 1/3. But somewhere when that law came, I remember, I think it was way back, I remember reading children born after so and so date or something. So is that valid now for women of all ages, even somebody who's 70-year-old, or is it some date?
See, the thing is, a 70-year-old would not want to go back and fight with her parents who, I don't know, if the daughter herself is 70, तो वो किससे झगड़ेगी? भाइयों से कि अरे मम्मी पापा का प्रॉपर्टी जो तुमको मिल गया है अभी मुझे दो.
No, but in matters of law, it should not be.
No. आपने सही सुना. Born after X date, correct? Yeah. And you said the person who wants to, the daughter herself is 70.
No, I gave an example which will not fall because I don't know the date. It could be 60.
But Krishna ji, there are children of that 70-year-old who will fight. So there are people who are fighting.
Cannot fight. They cannot fight. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
only
so
the daughter.
A law after next date, only women have got the right. And what is that date?
I'll tell you. 2005, I guess. 2005 here.
So born after 2005.
No. There is a certain. Let me get back to you on that. Okay. Okay, fine. So
there is a question by Sujata on the chat.
Yeah.
On the chat.
Can Sanjana, will you read it?
Yeah, I'll read it out. My dad is living and he wants to give me his house. My brother does not have any objection. My dad wants to give his house to me. Should that be just in my name or do I have to add my husband and my sons to it? That's Sujata's question.
Okay. No, it has to be only in her name. Hello.
Yeah, I think she got the answer. She's nodding. So yeah, it can be only in your name.
Only in your name, and once it comes to your name, then you can give it to anybody you like. They become your family then, right? There was one more question. If the wife is a nominee of a property, can the son transfer the deceased father's property in his name? I think that Sneha's question also is worth to be taken because it relates to women's right. If wife is the nominee of a property, मतलब husband ने nominate किया है बीवी को, बेटा कैसे बेचेगा? उसको अलाव ही नहीं करेगा कोई. स्नेहा, अच्छा, okay, fine. Okay.
हाँ.
Understood now? More question?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
And there's one more question from VS. If there's a joint property, but the loan EMI is being paid by wife, what will be the case here?
There is a joint property and the
loan paid by wife. What will be the case here?
Case matlab in what situation?
No, does her husband or in-laws can claim it?
Claim ऐसे ही नहीं कर सकते हैं. In which case they can claim? God forbid something happens to her.
Yeah.
Then the husband becomes the class 1 legal heir, no? Along with the children.
So my question, if a
Ma'am, she
husband
seems-
dies, the wife is automatically
Krishna, this
a
is related
class
to
one.
divorce.
Okay.
There's a joint property, there's a divorce, and the wife has been paying the EMIs. In that case, that's the question.
No. Then the husband cannot claim. In case of a divorce where the wife, now why this? Let me explain that also. When a husband is the owner of the property, वो EMI भर रहा होता है, तो women as wives, we have right and claim over his properties. Likewise, if wife is owning a property, they are living together happily, तब तक ठीक है. But if there is a divorce, then there is a dispute, then there is a divorce, then the husband can also claim ना कि भाई मैं तो रोज का सब्जी मैं ही लाता था, वो EMI वो भरती थी. Likewise, so his claim will not stand by because the backflow of the where the property came from, the judge will decide on all that. And if there are children, then obviously the wife and the children, the husband cannot claim. Okay, there is a question. Okay, yeah, it's taken care. Okay, so shall we move to a different topic or should we continue?
No, I think we can continue. We have some more questions. We'll ask them together.
Yes,
then.
yes,
Yeah.
sure. Okay. So we spoke about domestic violence. We spoke about 498 FIRs being
I
filed.
have a question. May I ask now or?
Yeah, if it is related to this subject, you can.
Yes, it is. Actually, this is about a jointly owned property, and both husband and wife are working.
Okay.
The loan was taken. Now the loan is repaid. Now this is a case of divorce. The husband is saying that the EMIs were paid by him alone. Okay, and that can be proved with the bank
Yeah,
record.
okay.
So on. Now the point is that the husband used to take the money from the earning wife continuously in his own name and then pay the EMI by himself. Now he's saying that since he is the one who's been paying, even if the property is jointly owned, means can he claim that entire property to himself?
No, he cannot. He cannot. The judges are very considerate in this since the property is in joint name. If at all, worst come worst, if they don't settle amongst themselves, the property will be asked to be sold in the market and the sales proceed will be divided half and half after the loan is being paid off.
Absolutely. So as long as the wife is the 50% owner on paper, whether the EMI is
paid by her or not.
So the wife has 50% share in her name. It will not be taken away by the husband. Cannot be taken away.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes. Is it true that a handwritten will is not valid anymore? When we used to learn law, so Jhabvala ki books, Jhabvala is the author. Gandha, you remember Jhabvala books? Yeah. उसके बुक्स में ऐसे लिखा होता था कि विल तो वो होता है जो काली भैंस पे भी कोई लिख दे कि मेरी जगह इसको, तो दैट विल बी कंसिडर्ड. बट वो भैंस को कहाँ पकड़ के लाओगे कोर्ट में? So if you think that there is going to be a dispute, it is better to have it notarized or registered. Okay. Now, is it true that handwritten will is not valid? Handwritten तो है ही, करना तो जरूरी ही है handwritten. बोलने के लिए बोलते हैं कि oral will is also good. अरे बट बोलने के लिए तो घर का नौकर भी बोलेगा कि नहीं बाबूजी बोलते थे सब कुछ मुझे दे देंगे. That's not true. Handwritten होना चाहिए. In the eyes of law, उसको डॉक्टर का सर्टिफिकेट होना चाहिए, उस पे 2 witness होने चाहिए. Because as lawyers, when we go to the court to get the will probated, ना, in case of probating a will, इनमें से कुछ भी नहीं होता है ना, तो वो लोग dismiss कर देते हैं फिर. So it is better that you have everything. Snanjana, can you read Chaitali's question?
What about the jewelry which in-laws have given me and taken all back? Can we claim it?
Very interesting question. Such questions come in contested divorce matters. Okay. Now, हम ये question स्त्रीधन, okay, where did it come from? जब पहले ऐसा होता था कि शादी होती थी, नई दुल्हन मम्मी पापा के पास से भी कुछ लेके जाती थी, उसका खुद का लॉकर नहीं होता था, कबर्ड नहीं होता था, वो मम्मी ने पापा ने जो दिया है वो सासू को दे देती थी, मदर इन लॉ अपने कबर्ड में रख देती थी। तब सिचुएशन ऐसे भी होती थी कि मदर इन लॉ ने जो ज्वेलरी आपको पहनाई है वो शायद उसकी नहीं भी हो, चाची की, मामी की पहना के फिर वो उनको वापस भी दी जाती है। दैट डज नॉट मीन कि जो शादी के फोटो में आपने ज्वेलरी आपकी सास ने आपको पहनाई है वो आपकी हो गई। बट स्त्रीधन, हम जिसको लीगली स्त्रीधन बोलते हैं, कि ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, over a period of a marriage of 5 years, 6 years, आपकी मदर इन लॉ ने या हस्बैंड ने ओकेजन पे आपको जो जो ज्वेलरी खरीद के दी है प्यार से, इट इज योर स्त्रीधन। ये स्त्रीधन टर्म क्यों बोला जाता है? क्योंकि अगर 10-15 साल उस शादी में आपने अपने आप को दिया है, तो यू हैव एवरी राइट टू क्लेम दैट फॉर योर सिक्योरिटी। यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? व्हाई स्त्रीधन? Okay, so what about the jewelry which my in-laws have given? Can I take it all back? अब आजकल ट्रेंड ये हो गया है एक्चुअली है, ट्रस्ट मी इन द कोर्ट, शादी करते हैं 2-3 साल, ज्वेलरी जो भी मिलती है इट इज ऑल स्त्रीधन, ले लो, डिवोर्स। आई मीन इट्स बिकम अ बिजनेस। स्त्रीधन मेरा है, देखो लॉ में लिखा है, बट जेन्युइन केस में यस, द स्त्रीधन इज योर्स, and reasonably what is absolutely given by your parents is yours. But if there is a marriage which is 2, 3, 5, you know, if you are given considerable time of yourself to the marriage, you are absolutely entitled to every bit of that. Okay, I hope I've answered the question.
Ma'am, there's one more. Is jewelry gifted by husband also considered as Stridhan? And if the same is stored in a joint locker, then?
Like I said, ki sometimes we get married, newly married, we don't have our lockers immediately after going there. But these days the girls are very smart. घर देख लिया कहाँ है, बाजू में बैंक देख लिया, मेरा मेरे पास, आपका भी मेरे पास। Yes, but अगर मदर इन लॉ की लॉकर में है, and if you're fighting a divorce battle, you can very well ask the court to seek inspection that my mother-in-law's locker is there and my this jewelry is there in that. They will appoint a court officer who will get the locker opened and your stridhan will be given to you. Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, well, let's continue and there will be more questions coming.
Okay, fine. So we spoke about divorce, we spoke about property, right of a woman in husband's property, in father's property, in-laws property. Now we will speak about, what do we discuss more? Janki, any specific topic?
If I can go with the questions that we had that came up before the session, or when people registered, they had asked.
Can we do that? It's already 1 hour to our session.
Correct.
We do that. So
yeah,
then
so
if there is a topic related to that, I will elaborate.
Correct. So can we share the screen, Sanjana, with those questions?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to take too many topics and confuse everybody.
Yeah. So this is a question that somebody has asked, who's a mother and whose married daughter has come back home 8 times and she's getting false promises, and then she goes back to her married home. So she is asking, how important is this to have a house in your own name? I think it is a question to ask for her daughter.
I understand that. And see, this reply to this is very, I mean, it has different shades to it. If the daughter is been married for X number of years, she said back 8 times. Now the daughter can come back 8 times, even in 8 weeks or 8 months or 8 years. We don't know. Okay. So how important it is to have a house in your name right after you're married. No girl, like just now somebody asked, my father-in-law is in control of the whole family business. She cannot tell her husband cannot put his foot down, saying that the property has to be like, his name also should be there in the property. So how can any mother teach any daughter ke jate hi pehle bolo property apne naam pe kare? We cannot. Okay. But if at all she is earning, I would say that ask her to keep her some income for herself. If she is buying a property, let it be in her name so that she is secured. They give false promises and take her back, which means she agreed to go back to save the marriage. Maybe there cannot be any condition in such cases also, okay, I will come back only if the house is in my name. The in-laws will say, no, that cannot be done. See, tali kabhi bhi ek haath se nahi bajti hai, but we cannot enforce the in-laws or the husband to put your daughter's name in the property. If your daughter has children, so if you have grandchildren, and you know that the marriage is supposed to, you are meant to, you will tell her to work on the marriage. Then sit with the son-in-law, make him understand what kind of security the daughter is looking for, that is your daughter is looking for, and then convince him to get the property, bit of the property also transferred in her name, that will give her security. Okay.
I just have a related question. Many of us have sons and daughters of marriageable age. How important it is, and all of them are earning today. For today's couples, both boy and girl are earning very well.
True.
Right? How important it is to have a prenup and get it done pre-marriage, and say 50% of the money will go towards building our house and 50% will stay mine. The same thing can be done by the boy, same thing can be done by the girl. And that safeguards in case, but it seems very upshagun to even suggest it in a marriage. But then if in few years down the road, if there is trouble in the marriage,
it is going to be the
safe.
new thing. Janki, you rightly pointed out, we as lawyers have already started drafting prenuptial agreements for the last 5 years, since last 5 years. Okay. And in the high society marriage, तो prenup बनता ही बनता है. Abhi to, as you said, higher middle class, where both the kids are educated, both the kids are earning, they do enter into a prenup. And let me tell you, this generation also is very fast in breaking the marriages also.
Fair enough. I think that's also mutual compatibility. ठीक है,
नहीं जमता है, okay,
जमता
fine.
नहीं है, that's also okay.
तुम तेरा, मैं मेरा.
But then the finances get complicated if one person is spending on everything and the other person has saved all the money while they have been married.
It does.
So it is always safer and better
to make a prenup.
Healthier emotionally also to make a prenup.
Absolutely. You should suggest.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
I think Sneha also has a question.
Yes, Sneha. So prenup is definitely a good idea. However, what I have read and understood is that prenup is not legally valid in this country. I mean, how can we, if I get into a prenup with my husband, whosoever, will that be considered valid when I'm taking a divorce? Will that take a stand? I mean,
it will in the court of law. Family court has already started considering the prenuptial agreements. As you rightly said, legal validity nahi hai usko. It is not registered with the registrar. Lekin at least there is a clear understanding between the couple ki agar kuch hoga to then the lady should not demand exorbitantly from the husband. Yes, it is being considered in the family courts already.
Okay. Thanks, Krishna. Thank you, Janki.
Sanjana, next question. Yeah.
Sanjana, you're reading it loudly so that.
Yeah, it's or I'll read. I have filed for a contested divorce. Our jointly owned flat is in his custody. He has put a new lock. Also, few jointly held post office deposits are maturing soon. How to claim access to the flat and my share from matured deposit proceeds?
Okay. Now there are two things. What I understand is our jointly owned flat is in his custody. Means she has left the house. She's left the matrimonial house. Now again, such questions, I need to know she's left the matrimonial house out of her own will or she was forced. Okay. If she has left the matrimonial house of her own will, and now she wants the custody of the house, then she has to approach the court. That's the only house I have, and it's jointly owned. My possession in that house should be reinforced. I should not be dispossessed from the house without the due process of law, and no court of law will tell you to get out of the house which you already own jointly. Okay, so next part of the question is joint for post deposit. Okay, you can write to the post office department saying that there are certain FDs. Of course, you wouldn't know the number because they are with him. You wouldn't know the number. You can just say that these are the names. There are certain joint post deposits which are going to mature soon. This is my email ID. This is my phone number. This is my address. And without my personal presence and consent, the deposits should not be disbursed to only my husband and things like that. You can always raise a claim in the post office.
So that's very good. That means if you give a written letter to the post office, they will have to ensure that you are there, and in your presence only the matured deposit is split.
Correct.
Okay. I hope that question is
likewise
answered.
In this case, this particular question, the flat is jointly owned. I would also suggest this whoever written this question to write a letter to the society where the flat is located, saying that the flat is jointly owned. Do not give any NOC to my husband to transfer his share of the property to any third person without my consent and personal presence. Here again, we have to see, I'm just presuming that there is a long marriage, since there is a joint flat, could be that the husband would transfer his share of the property to his parents or brother just to say, I have no flat and whatever.
Yeah.
So just to safeguard her right, she can write to the society.
Yeah, that was my question. Thank you so much. It brought a lot of clarity.
Thank you, sir.
Next question, Sanjana.
I'm sorry, this is taking time.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, I have a follow-up question in the meantime, Krishna ji. This is related to domestic violence that you had asked, that if there is violence, she can go to the police and ask for protection, and she has a right to stay in that family home. I want to understand, normally if it is a new relationship and the husband is actually beating her, or if there's a fear of violence, and the lady comes back to live back in the same home, and this guy very well knows that she has gone and complained and made an FIR. It is very life-threatening for this girl to stay back in that house while he is also staying in that house. What kind of protection can she seek? I mean, if there is another incident only, she can go back to the police, right? But she has to wait for that other incident to happen. In the meantime, she lives in fear in that house?
Okay. The answer to that is, there is a provision in Domestic Violence Act restraining the husband to enter the matrimonial house.
Okay, that's what I want to understand.
Yes,
okay,
but such a order is given only in the rarest of rare case where there is a physical abuse which is very much visible. As you rightly said, raat ko sote waqt maar dala, ya will she wait for something to happen? So she has to prove it to the court that the degree of threat is so much that one more day I sleep in the house, he might just take my life. So it is a threat to my life, and that's the time when the court restrains the husband from entering the matrimonial house, even if it is in his name.
Yeah, that's very important to know, because I think most of the cases that come to us comes to us only when it has escalated to that level.
I understand.
Because till then the wife is, or the young girl keeps quiet and सहन कर लेती है, but अगर जब violence कुछ escalate होता है, it is only then that they reach a helpline. And then we find in those cases it is very scary for that young girl to live in that house also with the husband. So there is a provision to restrain him from entering his own house for her safety or her child's safety.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I just say one point?
Yes.
Similar to this question. What in case if it's in-laws, physical instead of husband.
You can
And
still go
husband
to
is
the protection
supportive.
officer. You can still go to the protection officer.
And
a
FIR is already done.
Domestic, what is done? FIR is done.
Yeah, NCA is written or whatever, and just the in-laws are the one to get physical and not the husband.
तो इसमें तो 498 पक्का हो सकता है, तो 498 का FIR किया है क्या? फिजिकल अब्यूज है तो डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस फाइल किया है या पुलिस स्टेशन में FIR फाइल किया है?
पुलिस स्टेशन FIR.
तो अभी लड़की मायके में रहती है?
No, they are staying with in-laws only.
वो वहीं रहती है और FIR फाइल किया है?
हाँ, and they are aware about it.
तो अभी what is your question at this stage?
So like husband is supportive, then like what is the risk factor?
If husband is supportive, then if there is a possibility, the husband should move out of the house which she does not feel comfortable to stay with in-laws. लेकिन कई बार ऐसा होता है the husband is financially not stable enough to move out.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case,
family business.
Correct. In that case, the family should sit together, and if there are more than one flats of the joint family, the protection officer can very well ask the in-laws to allow this couple to stay in one of the joint property so that their marriage can be saved.
And what if it's a bungalow, just a bungalow?
Any other property do the in-laws have? Are the in-laws capable of paying the rent for the couple? Financially capable?
They are not ready.
No, they are not ready. Are they capable?
Yes.
The protection officer very well can sit across the table with them and ask them to do that. If they don't do it, the court will do it.
Okay.
So in that case, she and her husband can shift to another apartment and ask the in-laws to pay the rent for that apartment also. That's also possible.
That's possible.
Okay.
Yes, Meena ji had a query.
I have a similar question. Now the thing is, one girl, she has got married to a person who is not residing in India, but the marriage took place in India, and they were staying in their grandfather-in-law's property. The grandfather and father, everybody, the whole of the family is staying abroad. They are not staying in India. Now the thing is, when they came to stay in India, they were staying in the grandfather-in-law's property. He had given a letter to the society saying that they are my grandchildren and I give them permission to stay over here. Now this has turned up into a divorce. FIR has been filed, a women's cell thing is also been filed, and notice has also been served, but this is not taking up. He is neither coming over here, neither maintaining. But the girl is still staying in the in-laws place because the flat is vacant. Nobody is staying there, and with the pretext that she had been married and she was allowed to stay there, she is still staying there. Now, how does she claim right, or how does she claim any matrimonial alimony, or what? How to go about this?
There are
the
two
boy is
different
neither
things.
coming, neither the family is coming.
Okay, Meena ji, इसमें दो चीजें अलग हैं. One, her right to seek divorce from the husband who is abroad, correct?
Yes.
Number two, right in this property. Okay, let me answer your second question, which is very, very clear. She cannot have a right in the ancestral property, though she has a right to stay there till the divorce thing gets over. Nobody will throw her out, but she cannot claim a right in that property because her right is to...
But suppose tomorrow if the building goes for redevelopment, where will
it will not come in her name. It will not come in her name.
But then how she will stay? How will she survive?
If at all it goes in redevelopment, see, nobody will come and lift her out. Okay? Let her keep staying there. The builder or whoever is the redevelopment जो ले रहा है, they will contact the owner कि भाई इसको निकालो, and that's when those people will come here. Any which way, she has to proceed in the court to seek issue summons through email to the husband.
Yeah, that has also been done, but nothing has happened. We have even contacted the embassy of UAE, asking them to help us out by sending the person here. But they are saying unless and until the Indian government do not give them any rights, they cannot go further.
Okay.
Now a
Now-
red alert has been issued, but it has still not been issued to the airport.
Okay, so I think this is a particular case, Meenaji. Janki, I would like to talk to her separately so that everybody's time is not.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll connect
I think
with
we
you.
can pass on her number, Meenaji, aapko, and after the session, whenever she's free, you can connect with her directly.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. We can go to the next question. The next question is how to claim share in property in case of a separation or divorce if joint family. I
Just
think
now,
these are many issues with joint family.
yeah, just now I was asking,
To a
telling
certain
Meenaji
extent,
about
yeah.
the same thing. Joint family property. If your husband's name is there, then you can claim. If it is ancestral, that means it's come from the grandfather to your father-in-law and then your husband. You can claim only what is your husband's, not your in-laws. Your in-laws are not liable to give you maintenance or a place to stay. But in such cases, what happens is you sit down across the table, you mediate. If this question is raised by somebody from Pune, please get in touch with Ganda. She will mediate and settle this issue.
Fine. I think, yeah, that's good. Let's go to the next question, Sanjana. I have a question which is slightly different. Again, this was a call that came on Listening Post. What do parents have right over an adult daughter? The daughter's marriage is not working and the daughter needs therapy and she needs psychiatric help. But the daughter is adult. She's been married for 5 years. And it was only when the mother visited the daughter that she realized that the daughter is in a bad shape and she's depressed and she needs help. But the family is not willing to let go of the daughter. And the daughter also, sometimes she's confused because she's not in a stable census. So she sometimes says, yeah, Mama, I want to come with you. And sometimes she says, no, my place is there with the husband. I should be living there. So what is the right of that set of parents? Do they have any rights with regard to the daughter?
See, as you yourself said that the daughter is an adult, but though if the parents feel that sometimes she needs emotional help or psychiatric help, the parents can take her to the doctor. But she's an adult, usko utha ke to nahi leke jayenge unless she comes physically. So unless there is a physical abuse to her, you see that she is physically being beaten or is upset about things, just leave it. Because कई बार मैंने देखा है
there is very clear emotional abuse.
Emotional abuse.
That is there because every time then the daughter has gone back and then again if the daughter has settled and gone back and then again in 6 months the daughter has deteriorated in terms of complete depression.
Okay.
So there is no and she's like, getting drugged to sleep kind of thing. So the parents are very worried. The girl is very young. She's hardly 33 or 34, but she's been married for 5 years and the in-laws and the son live abroad.
In-laws and
so it's
the
only when
husband,
the son, the family lives abroad.
So
like
whom does she live with?
About UAE,
but she
with the husband and the in-laws. They do not live in India. So whenever the mother visits the daughter, it's only then she realizes कि बेटी का हालत ऐसा है क्योंकि फोन पे तो वो नहीं बताती है.
Okay, but then बेटी कभी तो मायके आती होगी. So when she comes here, only then you have the access to take her to some therapist. Otherwise, how will you?
Correct.
No?
Correct.
And,
so do the parents have the right to not send her back? That's my question.
They have the right, but in what are they risking? I mean, they have to decide. They want to hold back the daughter or they want to save her marriage. It's all dependent on the situation.
No, they are okay to keep the daughter with them for a couple of years till the therapy is
What if
done
the daughter doesn't
and
want
she
to
is
stay?
Healed fully.
But then she says, I don't want to
what
stay.
Right? Do the parents have any right? That's what I'm
hold
trying
on to an adult.
understand.
No, you can't hold on to an adult. No.
So it's just that it is just bad luck for
because
them.
the husband will say, my in-laws are forcefully keeping my wife.
Correct. So he can always apply
Yeah.
for restoration of conjugal rights.
Yes.
And he has a right over this girl. His right over the girl is stronger than the parents' right
Now
over
that
their
she's
own
married,
daughter.
now that she's
Correct.
married, and if the daughter herself says, no, I have nothing wrong with me, I want to go there to the husband, then the very little thing that the parents can do. Okay.
Yeah, that is the situation. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
understand. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Am I entitled to
So
maintenance
this is another question. Am I entitled to maintenance amount before filing for? So you did mention interim maintenance. So I think this is a question about that.
But still, I will enhance a little here.
Yeah.
Before filing divorce,
Yeah.
which means divorce is not yet filed, then you will have to file something to go to the court. Na? Court apne aap se to maintenance nahi dega. So you have to either file for domestic violence and claim maintenance in that, or you have to apply for only maintenance. Something has to be filed in the court, and only then the court can grant you maintenance. That will answer this question. I want to understand
The next question. Yeah.
Yes, Anjana, go on.
Yeah. I want to understand divorce proceedings and my rights for custody of my minor children. I'm a housewife and not earning.
Okay. I think when I spoke about the divorce, the children, the custody, this question was answered, but still I will elaborate it. That divorce proceedings depends. Who wants divorce? Both of you want divorce, then it is mutual consent. In mutual consent, the couples generally sit down and discuss what to do with the children. Yeah. What to do with the children, as in whose custody the child would stay. Now, my rights for custody of my children, I presume there are two. If they are minor, boy and a girl, she can keep both. But if she's not earning, she's entitled to maintenance for herself as well as children. I think that answers this question. There is a question, Sanjana, in the chat box as well. Huh?
Okay. Yeah. Should we go for that once we're done here with these questions?
No, but this is connected. I get
Okay. Yeah, I'll just check. Could you please explain how is legal separation different from divorce?
If the couple doesn't want the tag called divorce, but they want to say, okay, tu tera rahe, main mera rehta hu, this is the consent term agreed between us, that is legal separation, judicial legal separation. That also you have to apply to the court.
Can they remarry in legal separation?
No, that is what my next sentence was. Ki bhai, then tum dusri shaadi nahi kar sakte, but might as well you can live in. Living in is not a crime anymore.
Yes. Sure. Thank you.
Ma'am, there's one more question. Husband earnings are directly transferred to brother-in-law account. Brother-in-law doesn't keep any property on my husband name from his earning. Now, how to claim he has bought a lot of property from my husband's earnings?
Why would a husband do that? Why would any man transfer all his income to his brother's account? Why? There has to be something more to it. Whoever that question was, I need a little more clarity to answer your queries. Okay, Sanjana, I think you know who it is who is asked, so just inform them.
Isn't can
That
I
person like to clarify? Yeah.
related to
please.
this? Isn't that the common recourse done by people who are expecting the wife to go in for a divorce and to show that they don't have property in their name?
Expected, if there is any battle going on, the wife can very well ask the court to demand the bank statements of the husband. Then from the husband's bank statement, the judge can drive where the property is going, and whatever the property bought in the brother-in-law's name, she can claim. The judge can very well say, direct it back, put her name and things like that. So if you know the source of income of your husband, bank statement mein pata chalega brother-in-law ka, so you can always claim. So such tactics the judge come to know if you point out to them, if you show it to them. Because कानून अंधा होता है, you show the evidence and then the judges will decide. The judges will not go and investigate. Nobody has time to do that. Yeah.
Ma'am, I think for the previous question. Yeah. Sorry.
The person who has asked the question, the person is in the group. So I've just asked her privately if she'd like to elaborate. If she likes to elaborate, then we'll get back to the question.
If she doesn't
But for
want
now,
to, yeah, if
Sanjana,
she
let's
doesn't
go to
want
the next
to,
question.
if she doesn't
Yeah,
want to
that's okay.
disclose publicly, she can talk to me later, Monday, whatever.
Is legal
Connect
separation?
privately, yeah.
Is legal separation a better proposition than going for
Next
consensual
question.
divorce?
We've answered that.
Yeah. Okay, I have a direct message. If there's no mutual consent, but couple don't share bedroom, meaning no sexual relation since couple of years, can this be used as a reason to demand divorce?
Who will demand? I mean, depends. If the wife or the husband, either of it, yes, it can be a reason for divorce. But other children, if the wife is asking that, yes, she can ask for a divorce on this grounds. Yes.
Okay.
There are times where, I've been on the other side where the boy happened to be a gay and didn't want to disclose this to the family. With the family pressure, got married, and after getting married, they just couldn't. Okay. So then what option does the girl have? Why should she suffer the whole of her life like that? So then she asked for the divorce. And yes, things were brought on the table. Initially, they did become dirty, but then ultimately, fine, they gave it away, the divorce.
Yeah. She's also mentioning that she has a child, 11 years old. Husband probably is seeing escorts.
Again, this is a very private thing. Janki, you want me to discuss it here, that case?
Yeah, can you discuss here?
Yeah, what we can, okay. So if we are okay to discuss here, we are happy to discuss it here.
See, again,
are you okay?
Yeah,
Ma'am, I don't, this is from a separate person. I'll just wait for the person to message.
Yes.
The person would like to
I
keep
think
this
the person
anonymous.
is answering.
Yeah.
Janki, what do you want
So
me to
then
do?
what we will do is the
It
end
can
of
be
this session.
discussed. She's saying it can be discussed, but would like to keep it anonymous.
I would like to know about it. The same question.
You want to know about it?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, seeing escorts is not a crime anymore. If one partner is not satisfying you sexually, you can have sexual partners. It is not a crime anymore. Okay, but it can be a reason for divorce. If you have a child, which means your husband is not important. Okay, over a period of time, something must have happened that both of you don't share good relations, and therefore there is no sexual interaction between the two of you. Do you want divorce? It depends on what you want. You want the marriage to work or you want a divorce. It is a ground of divorce. If you want the marriage to work, that is also possible. I have seen marriages where couples don't share bedroom for years together and something happens and things become all right. They do become all right. So whoever asked that question, do you have any more questions on that? Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for answering. She's thanking. There's another question. What are all the rights of a wife in legal separation, especially if she is a working wife and has nothing in her name?
All the rights of a wife, as I had just mentioned a few minutes back. If both of you are going for a legal separation, which means both of you have consent, both of you agreed that we will not divorce, but we'll go in for a legal separation. तू तेरा जी, मैं मेरा जीती हूँ. मेरे को ये घर चाहिए, बच्चों के लिए ये चाहिए. All that has to be mentioned in the consent terms of a legal separation.
Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead with the question.
Just one question on this, what you said, legal separation. So you're saying basically the marital status is not divorced, but the financial status is as good as divorced. Is that understanding correct?
Yes. But like somebody asked, in this situation, you cannot get remarried to somebody.
Yeah.
Right? You cannot again start a family and things like that. So nobody generally goes in for a legal separation. कोई नहीं जाता है. Then अगर अलग होना है तो might as well बाबा divorce हो जाओ, तुम तेरा जियो, start afresh.
Should we go ahead with the questions?
Yep.
How many more do we have?
We have 2 more, I think.
Okay, let's go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. 1 minute. I'm sorry, there's some technical problem.
No problem.
Question in the meanwhile.
Yeah.
Hi, this is
Yeah,
Amisha.
Yes, Amisha.
Okay, so if there is no divorce, and if I'm staying with the in-laws, it's joint family, right? However, I am not still given access to my own jewelry. I am not allowed to keep, house helps as required. They want, if house helps are there, but I need to work constantly in front of them all 24 hours kind of a thing. Okay, and I'm not allowed to do a certain things in the house, right? Is that under domestic violence, or is it something else where the in-laws are, absolutely not ready to listen to whatever is said? They're not ready to negotiate anything.
What about your husband?
Husband is supportive.
Okay.
To an
Now-
extent, yes. But again, where the father, where the father's say comes into picture, then the husband has nothing to say, can't say anything. So can't basically stand up for himself in the house. So in that case, what is the position of the girl there?
Okay. Now, let me tell you, ki, you said ki there are house helps, but you need to work. Okay.
Yes.
What kind of work? झाड़ू पोछा करना पड़ता है या खाना बनाना पड़ता है?
No, so if just for an example.
Yes.
So if the house help is washing vessels, right? So what is the harm in if you also join in and wash 3-4 vessels? You have a house help. He or she is ready to and willingly doing things, and you have a good rapport with the person. But the in-laws say that no, you have to do it as well.
Are you working, Amisha? Are you busy elsewhere, or you are in the house?
No, so so this is I'm asking this on behalf of
whoever, the girl. Chalo, let's.
Yes, the girl.
Yes.
Okay. But the girl is a housewife, but does things online. So a little bit work here and there, and takes care of the child and education and everything.
Okay. Now there are certain in-laws which are from the old school, and they believe कि थोड़ा सा घर में हाथ लड़की को बटाना चाहिए, सिर्फ टांग ऊपर करके नहीं बैठ जाना चाहिए. Even if you are a housewife, certain people from old schools they feel, अरे बैठी है, रेस्ट कर रही है, ऐसे कैसे रेस्ट कर सकती है? There is so much to do.
But मतलब 24 घंटे कुछ ना कुछ करना. Even if the girl is like doing everything.
Done everything. At the same time, there are certain girls also who feel, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, मैं बर्तन मांझू. Oh my God. So everything in the house, अपना घर है. वक्त आने पे लॉकडाउन में सबने झाड़ू पोछा किया है. So there's no harm in doing that.
Yes.
Right? But I feel how much you are ready, or that you, I mean, that girl is ready to take. Yeah, how much that girl is ready to take, how important is that marriage for her? See, ye family ki baat hai. If the husband is supportive and he doesn't stand up for himself, as you said, maybe that is out of respect. It's not because he doesn't want to stand up for himself, maybe out of respect. Or I think this is a family issue. And if the girl speaks to the husband, or why put the husband and make him a sandwich? Speak to the in-laws directly. I'm sure they also have a daughter. I mean, they know how it works. So give some time. शादी को कितने साल हुए हैं उस लड़की के जिसके बारे में आप बात कर रहे हो?
Around 10-12.
इतने साल के बाद?
And the in-laws basically are just adamant and don't listen to anything said, even if the girl's family speaks to them. Every 6 months, basically, the girl's family also goes and negotiates and does things and settle things.
अभी भी family बीच में आती है.
Yes, and they say yes to everything, and then they say in 3 days, 4 days, they are, they turn around and say that no, nothing is possible. Whatever was discussed is all gone in the air, and they turn to their words.
Okay, बच्चे हैं.
हाँ.
So definitely she wants to be in this marriage. Correct?
She wants to be in the marriage because of the kid, and there are a lot of complications, right? So
and the husband cannot stand up and say कि हम लोग अलग जाके रहते हैं, वो भी possible नहीं है.
नहीं.
See, it is very difficult to explain old people and change them. So it is okay. बोलते ना कि आँख आड़ा कान बंद करने का. That's what. हाँ. So just continues to take around 10 years. As far as the husband is with her, there is an economic support and security. The children are taken care of. She gets to do something she likes to do apart from this work to be done in the house. ये घर की कहानी है. वो छोटा मोटा चलते रहता है. Yes, she has to put her foot down. No more calling my parents. जो बात है हमें, we will do it now. Sometimes she has to put her foot down. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Krishna.
Yeah. Sanjana, there was a question on the screen.
Yeah, I think one last question.
Yeah.
This
no, yeah. So our divorce was finalized in June 2019. I am staying with my parents. My husband has stopped paying me monthly payments ever since lockdown started. What recourse do I have under the law?
The funniest part is lockdown में courts भी lockdown है. तो अब जाओगे कहाँ?
Exactly.
Okay. So before, when I was talking about divorce, इधर लिखा है our divorce was finalized in 2019. Now I presume कि ये mutual consent divorce हुआ होगा, and there must be a certain amount monthly which the husband must have promised her, and now he has stopped paying. What she can do is she can write to his employer if she knows where he is working. And nowadays it's not so difficult to find out where your husband is working. Everything is there on social media. LinkedIn le lo ya Insta le lo. You will know where he's working on from his profile. You can write to the company where he's working that this is the court order. अगर आपके पास court order है, whoever has written this question, आपके पास court order है, उसकी copy जोड़ के you write to his company stating that according to this order, he is supposed to pay me so much, which he's not been paying me during the lockdown. I please request you to directly put that much amount in my this Falana account. Unko de do information. Let them get back to you. This is the immediate recourse that you have because the courts are closed. Otherwise, the legal recourse is you have to go back to the court. Knock, knock. Aapne ye order diya tha. That's called execution. Aapne ye order diya tha. Falana follow nahi kar raha hai. The judge will again send him the summons. So it's again a court procedure. So जो कोई भी divorce के proceedings के लिए questions पूछ रहे हैं, I would request them कि अगर हो सके तो lump sum settlement करिए ताकि ये आपको महीने महीने पीछे ना भागना पड़े. I hope I've answered this question.
A supplementary question to this, Krishna. If you write to the company, is it obligatory for the company to pay the estranged wife?
Yes, because there is a court order. Good. Because I presume there is a court order since she said it is finalized in 2019, and I also presume that there is a certain amount given to her in that order, which he has stopped paying.
Correct. Are we done with the questions, Sanjana?
We have one more.
Okay. Yeah. Last question.
Yeah, last. So this one says, just a minute. I have lost my husband because of COVID. I have one young child. My siblings live abroad. My husband has put his mother's name as the beneficiary in insurance policies. Is there any way I can claim money to support myself? Thanks to lockdown, I have not been able to find a job.
I understand. See, that there is a young child, which I believe will be an infant child. Young child likha hai.
Could be.
And there is a possibility, you know, कि जैसे शादी होती है, तो शादी नहीं हुई होती है, तो मम्मा का नाम होता है nomination में. तो वो भूल गया होगा to transfer the name of the beneficiary. Nobody does this intentionally when there is a wife, there is a child. But अगर भूल गया है in this case, or the husband has put the mother's name as a beneficiary in the insurance policy, she as a wife, as a legal heir, as I said, class 1 legal heir, mother and wife and the children, she can write to the insurance company. The insurance company will definitely consider this as a class 1 legal heir and she will get her claim.
Oh, wonderful. I think this is something that she'd like to hear. I think we can respond. This person is not there on the session today.
Please inform
but this
her.
question came up, so we can definitely inform her and let her know. That's wonderful. Okay. Are we done with questions, Sanjana? You can stop screen sharing.
We do have one question from earlier, which was there in the chat box. So if the wife has no house to stay after divorce and no property also with the husband, what will be the scenario?
तो divorce ही क्यों दिया? अगर मतलब what happens is when you give a divorce, which means you have settled all your claims. उसमें लिखा जाता है that henceforth none of the parties will have a claim against each other. After some time, you cannot go back and say, hello, I don't have a house. अभी मुझे घर दो. No, you cannot get up one fine day and do that. आपको जो भी settlement करना है, आपको divorce के वक्त करना है. Whatever is written in the decree of divorce, उसके बाद उठ के आप नहीं मांग सकते हो.
This question was one of the participants. So the person, would you like to ask कि divorce दे दिया है या interim है? जो सवाल आपने पूछा है, आपको पूछना है.
आप वीडियो ऑफ करके भी पूछ सकते हैं. नो
कृष्णा जी इस नंबर, हाँ नहीं, कृष्णा जी का नंबर हम चैट बॉक्स में अभी डाल देंगे. तो अगर आपको डायरेक्टली उनसे कांटेक्ट करनी हो तो फील फ्री. कृष्णा जी, आप उनके लिए टाइम निकालिए. As and when you are free, you tell them, give them an appointment and they can
give me a call or leave me a WhatsApp message Monday afternoon के बाद 2 बजे के बाद. ठीक है?
तो संजना जरा चैट बॉक्स में इनका नंबर डाल देंगे आप. तो then and email, so we will make sure that everybody has your number.
Yes, and if these questions are answered.
Can I ask a follow-up question on this last question that was asked and your reply to it? Like you were saying, एक बार हो गया तो वापस नहीं जा सकते. I just wanted to know, like say example, maybe a divorce happened 10 years back and now 10 years later the person is doing well, the cost of living has also increased, the children are going in for education and financially it's affordable. So can the wife then ask for a revised? No. Okay.
Yeah, अभी तेरे पास बहुत पैसा है, अभी मेरे को दे, ऐसा नहीं बोल सकते.
No, not in that way. It can just be a maybe even for the children, if not for herself.
See, again, children, it depends. आपके consent decree में अगर ऐसा लिखा गया है that the father will look after the children's expenses till they are married, till they are settled, then definitely the school fees आज अगर 40,000 थी कल 60,000 बढ़ती है. तो अगर it depends on the decree, ma'am. If it is for children, it depends on the decree. Okay.
Krishna, one last question. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, legal rights क्या है एक live-in female partner के?
Everything that a wife has. Live-in. I'm glad you asked this question. Live-in means तुम adult हो, तुम शादी की एज के हो, तुम जान के साथ में रह रहे हो, but for some reason you are not giving that relationship a status of a marriage. So even if you are living in, you have every right like any other wife.
But is there a fixed tenure कि इतने साल के बाद ही?
नहीं, ऐसा कोई tenure नहीं, ऐसा कोई tenure
नहीं. कि I think last judgment में 3 साल बताया था, तो I'm not very sure. इसलिए
हाँ, मतलब you cannot ऐसे घर 6 महीना साथ में रह के इसके claim किया, फिर 6 महीना उसके साथ रह के उससे claim लिया. No, that's not be done. That's why I said there should be a relationship which looks like a marriage in the social.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
I think we are done. It's 1 o'clock. सबको भूख भी लगी है और सबको घर में other family members also must be waiting for lunch.
So I think it's been a wonderful session, Krishna ji. आपने बहुत patience के साथ सबके सवाल you have answered, and I think all of us are a lot more educated, aware, and understand the provisions of the law much better. We have just put in the chat box Krishna ji's email as well as phone number. Please check with her when she is free. Send her a WhatsApp message. वो आपको time देगी, तभी आप पूछ सकते हैं. ये recording हमने किया है आज. ये हम हमारी सोशल मीडिया में भी शेयर करेंगे. SHP सोशल फाउंडेशन के फेसबुक और इंस्टाग्राम पेज में भी हम शेयर करेंगे, लिंक्डइन में भी. एंड कृष्णा जी इज अरेंज्ड विद अ लोकल चैनल इन नवी मुंबई, जो उनके पास भी जाएगा ये यूट्यूब लिंक, तो वो भी इसको ब्रॉडकास्ट करेंगे. एंड लाइक वी सेड एट द बिगिनिंग, देयरफॉर यू हैड अ चॉइस ऑफ कीपिंग वीडियो ऑन ऑफ. बिल्कुल ठीक है. सो ऑल ऑफ यू हैव द नंबर ऑफ SHB सोशल फाउंडेशन ऑल्सो, जिसमें से आपको व्हाट्सएप मैसेज आई, तो वो हमारा नंबर है. अगर कुछ भी आप पूछना चाहते हैं तो हमको भी आप पूछ सकते हैं, एंड वी विल फॉरवर्ड इट टू कृष्णा जी एंड शी विल रिस्पॉन्ड थ्रू अस ऑल्सो. सो फील फ्री. एंड अगेन थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर अटेंडिंग. एंड किसी को अगर रिकॉर्डिंग की जरूरत है तो प्लीज सेंड अस अ व्हाट्सएप मैसेज. उसी नंबर पर हम आपको रिकॉर्डिंग भी भेज देंगे. So again, thank you very much, Krishna ji. आपने ये time निकाला and very patiently you answered. So many more questions came, and you very patiently you responded to all the questions. So thanks again, and thanks Ganda for introducing Krishna ji to us.
Thank you, Ganda. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. You can message us individually if you wish.
Thank you so much.